Hey guys, looking for new roguelite games to play? Then you've come to the right place. We've already started with Katanaut, a game developed by the indie studio Voidmaw, and it promises an intense experience in the roguelite action genre. The game stands out for its cosmic horror setting, where players face challenges in the setting of a collapsing space station. In Katanaut, players descend into what is described as cosmic madness, facing unspeakable horrors as they try to survive. The gameplay is characterized by fast and fluid combat, where players can unleash powerful abilities to deal with enemies. The combat mechanics are one of the game's strengths, promising a dynamic and challenging experience. If you're looking for a game that combines frenetic action with roguelite elements, Katanaut might be a great option for you. Following the list, we have Blightstone, a new game being developed by the Spanish independent studio Unfinished Pixel, scheduled for release in 2025. This title stands out as a tactical roguelike RPG with a dark theme, set in a sinister and deadly fantasy world. The game promises to bring innovations in combat, allowing significant freedom in character assignment and strategic positioning during battles. One of the central elements of the game is intense resource management, which will be crucial for players' survival and progress.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Don't Wake the Beast is a stealth roguelite game that puts you in the role of a treasure hunter who infiltrates randomly generated dungeons guarded by powerful beasts. Your goal is to steal their most precious treasures, but the path is fraught with danger. Gameplay involves using a grappling hook to escape traps, defeat enemies, and solve puzzles. Each treasure you manage to steal makes the escape more difficult, increasing the tension and need for strategy. This creates a dynamic environment where each match can be different, keeping the player always engaged in the game.
I just love the feeling, I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb.
Hellclock is an action RPG and roguelike developed by the Brazilian studio Rogue Snail. The game is set in the Canudos War, a historical event that occurred in Brazil in 1896. Players take on the role of Paju, a former slave who faces enemies in dungeons while fighting for justice in a dark world. The game promises an intense experience, combining action RPG mechanics with roguelike elements, allowing players to forge builds and collect loot. The game is described as an ultra-fast action RPG, where players must traverse challenging levels and face a variety of enemies. The gameplay is inspired by titles like Diablo, promising an engaging and dynamic experience.
Justiça. Muitos foram escravizados e explorados pela lei dos homens.
Moonlighter 2. The Endless Vault is an action RPG with dungeon crawler elements. It is the sequel to the acclaimed indie game Moonlighter, offering a mix of exploration, combat, and shop management. The sequel resumes the journey of Will, the protagonist of the first game, who now faces new challenges and mysteries. The title, The Endless Vault, suggests a deep exploration of dungeons, with the promise of new environments, enemies, and treasures to be discovered. Moonlighter 2 promises to expand on the formula of the original game, enhancing the dungeon exploration and shop management experience. The action RPG combat system has been refined, offering new skills and options for players. Neon Abyss 2 is the sequel to the popular action roguelike developed by Vivo Games, which has captivated many players since its release in 2020. This new title is scheduled for release in early access in 2025 and promises to bring an even more intense and chaotic experience. The game will introduce a new arsenal of weapons and even more absurd item synergies, allowing players to experience unique combinations during their playthroughs. Players can expect a cyber-mythical world full of electrifying action, where each run offers a dramatic and adrenaline-pumping experience. The diverse combat style and endless item synergies ensure that each match is unique and exciting. Psionic Sentry Infinite is a third-person action game that combines elements of shooting and roguelike, with a special focus on combat and skill selection. The game stands out for its counterattack system, which allows any player to use strategies to observe and exploit enemy weaknesses during battles. The gameplay is centered on dynamic combat, where players must focus on destroying enemies while strategically using their abilities. The game features an attractive visual style, with female characters who are a central part of the experience. If you enjoyed games like Nier Automata and Stellar Blade, it's worth keeping an eye on Psionic Sentry Infinite. Rogue Waters is a pirate-themed game that combines roguelite elements with turn-based tactical strategy. In the game, you take on the role of Captain Cutter, who commands his ship and crew in procedurally generated encounters. The main objective is to seek revenge in a world dominated by a terrible curse. Players will be able to recruit, train, and improve their crew, as well as utilize powerful sea creatures and participate in dynamic combat, both naval and melee. Rogue Waters seems to be an interesting addition to the pirate game genre, especially for those who appreciate a mix of strategy and action. Stand Alone is a roguelite action game developed by LaFuel that will be released in early access on Steam during the first half of 2025. The game features pixel art animations and a dynamic skill combination system. The story of Stand Alone takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where the player controls a robot sheep that has lost its memory and must fight for survival. The player must face challenges and enemies, discovering the truth behind the world and their own history. The gameplay of Stand Alone is focused on fast-paced and dynamic combat. The player can modify their skills and create a unique combat style. The game also includes powerful bosses with their own stories and secrets. Tears of Metal is a medieval hack-and-slash roguelike action game that will be released for PC in 2025. Developed by Paper Cult, the Canadian studio behind the game Bloodroots, Tears of Metal puts players in control of a Scottish army fighting to reclaim their island from invaders. The game takes place in a world where a Dragonstone meteorite fell on the island, bringing with it mysterious and dangerous powers. These powers attracted invaders to the island, and players must fight to repel them and reclaim their home. Tears of Metal features a permanent progression system where players can upgrade their troops and abilities between matches. However, if a troop dies in battle, it is lost forever. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.